first panel. In order, Guy Rosenhoiz, the CEO of Swiich.
Hi.
Mike Draghici, the founder and CEO of Paybyface.
Hello.
And Mihai Paraschiv, the Chief Marketing Officer of Symphopay. So we have one company from Israel, two companies from Romania. Guys, welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
Hi.
Thank you.
And first of all, I think it would be a good idea to do a roundup of each and every one of you to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what your company is doing. As mentioned, everybody who is joining and is not speaking, please mute your microphones. Let's start with Ben. Let's start with the Guy, sorry. Let's start with Guy, please. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Swiich?
Yes, of course. I hope everyone can hear me. Basically, Swiich is a faster payment hub. I don't know how many know about the field of e-wallet, but basically there's a huge difference between e-wallet behavior and I think, is our internet okay? Okay. There's a big difference between e-wallet behavior and bank transfers, credit card payments, etc., etc. It's a completely new space, completely different place, completely different platform. It's all about immediate payments, faster payments, etc., etc. And basically, what we're doing, I believe and I think we are the first and only open e-wallet platform, and we basically enable e-wallets to communicate with each other. Basically, e-wallets to communicate with other e-wallets, meaning that those customers can transfer funds or payments from one e-wallet to another e-wallet, even though the two e-wallets do not know of each other, as long as they are connected to the Swiich platform. Customers can transfer funds and payments. We handle those payments via a simple API, simple integration, nothing heavy. So that's one end of what we do. And the other end of what we do is we also enable wallets to talk to cashier systems at the point of sale, meaning that e-wallet customers can actually transfer payments and make transactions directly from their e-wallet to businesses. So, for example, somebody can step into a grocery shop, ask to pay with his e-wallet, and in a very simple way to pay for his grocery shopping. So that's basically what we do. We're basically a hub. So on the one hand, we have many e-wallets that we are connected or connecting to. And on the other hand, we have many cashier systems at the point of sale, not ours, cashier systems that we are connected to. And by that, we're able to enable transactions between wallets and between wallets to businesses. We currently support tens of thousands of businesses that can receive payments on our systems. And we're just about to launch the system in Israel after more than a year of a build-up of connecting to e-wallets and to cashier systems and to businesses. That's basically Swiich. Just a small note. We plan to offer additional financial services on top of wallets connecting to each other and wallets connecting to businesses. We plan to offer payment solutions like installments and loans and other stuff that will actually boost businesses and boost e-wallets services and features. So that's basically Swiich.
Thank you very much, Guy. Mike, how about yourself and Paybyface?
Yes, I'm going to keep my video off to save bandwidth because it seems to be stopping and stuff. So if anyone has any complains about that, I'll send you a photo. So yeah, I'm Mike Draghici. For those who don't know me, I am founder and CEO of Paybyface. We're a fintech, Romanian fintech company. We've been operating for about 2 years, pushing the whole concept of face recognition payments. We've developed an application. There's 2 applications in the Apple App Store and Android App Store where you can download our e-wallet app, create your Paybyface account, and then once you have your account set up, you can go to participating merchants that have downloaded our merchant kiosk soft POS app, and you can make a purchase using just your face. So you don't need to carry a phone, you don't need to carry cash, cards, nothing. And it's with the situation crisis around the world, we've been accelerated very rapidly in the last few months. We got accepted into the Visa Innovation Program out of Bulgaria as top 5 startups. We've been accepted into the Startup Bootcamp Commerce 2020 program in Amsterdam, where I am now. I'm in downtown Amsterdam right now. And we've grown our team to 9 executive and advisory board members, and we have 10 countries worldwide that we've set up distribution partners with. So we're getting ready to refine our business models through the 2 accelerators and deliver a white label B2B completely contactless biometric payment system to restaurants, to grocery stores, pharmacies, following sort of the Alipay model. For those who know about Alipay in China, it's a face recognition payment system, but we definitely have some pretty unique competitive advantages compared to some of the few companies worldwide that are doing real face recognition payment systems. But please reach out to me if you want to learn more about Paybyface. Thanks, Tudor.
Thanks, Mike. And finally, Mihai, give us a little bit of roundout about yourself and Symphopay.
Yeah, can you hear me well? Fantastic. Hi, everybody. This is Mihai. I'm the CMO at Symphopay. We at Symphopay, we digitize payments by translating legacy bank protocols in modern APIs that can be easily integrated with retail systems. In this way, we're helping acquirers and merchants to increase customer engagement with every transaction by facilitating the integration of value-added business applications such as loyalty platforms over the payments. By understanding customer payment behavior through advanced reports and analytics, banks and merchants can easily engage their customer with relevant offers right at the moment of payment through the interface of the POS. Until now, we delivered different payment projects with fixed and POS unattended online for EMAG, Fan Courier, Intersport, and connected with banks like Banca Transilvania, Alpha Bank, to name just a few. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mihai. Let's jump right into our conversation. I prepared several questions. And of course, if you have any additional topics you want to discuss, let's do that. First of all, it's no wonder and it's no question for anybody that we're currently in a type of crisis that is changing the way ecosystems work. And I think some of these changes are going to stick after this crisis ends. And I was curious to learn from you guys, what kind of trends have you seen taking place? What kind of new activities have you seen taking place in your part of the payments ecosystem, either geographically or in terms of product vertical, in the context of the current crisis? And which ones do you think will stick after the crisis ends?
Well, who's talking?
Guy, you can start.
First of all, I must say that I really like the other two companies, and generally, I think we would very much love to talk to them. So it's a great gathering. Second, I completely correspond with what Mike has said, that they've seen an increase. In fact, Mike has defined it as a boost in their uptake, in their application uptake. Now, we do not have an application. We're basically a hub, a clearinghouse, but we're experiencing the same thing. We're experiencing a deep increase in the usage of mobile applications and wallets to make payments. I think this will stick. I think people are actually finding out, maybe for the first time, that it's extremely convenient, extremely easy. And talking about COVID-19, it's basically, it's contactless, and you're basically touching your own phone when you're making the payments. And the interesting stuff is that you see all of this happening online. Now, if it would have been happening in the at the point of sale, you would have said, yeah, it's convenient and people want to use it and they don't want to hand over their credit card and they don't want to touch anything and so on. That's fine. We see that, but we see the same thing in online. Now, one should ask himself, why will people use an e-wallet instead of credit card when they're dealing with, making purchases online? Now, the interesting stuff is that it's probably down to convenience and down to feeling very secure with it, and I think that's going to stick. That's my view. So I completely correspond with Mike. I think we'll see an increase in the usage of digital means to make payments. That's the first insight I've taken from this COVID-19 crisis.
Mike, maybe you want to build a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's pretty obvious. People are getting away from using cash. They want to, much less the governments are imposing social distancing, 1.5 meter society or 6 feet society like in the US. The stores are closed. Businesses are moving into home delivery services where traditionally they've had people come to them. Now they're going to the people to deliver the goods. You're getting a lot of business and takeaway business, curbside business. Instead of being confined inside a space. So I've participated on several really interesting webinars with the restaurant and bar industries in the US. And they've seen, first of all, they're really hurting because of, everything has been shut down, but they're also very unprepared for when things will open back up. The whole way of disinfecting, cleaning, monitoring, preventing is something that they have never done in their workflows. And so helping them at least stay operational with a completely contactless payment system. And we knew this was coming, maybe not because of a virus, but we knew this was the trend of where it was going with Paybyface. We tried to come up with even a system that you no longer even need your phone. So you can simply walk out of your house with nothing except your face and do a transaction from a distance. You can scan someone's face, from a distance if you're holding our POS, mobile POS. And so, we have conversations with Domino's Italy, with McDonald's USA, with a lot of really large players that need this, not necessarily from a technology perspective, but from a marketing and consumer safety perspective. So it is definitely the trend, and we think it's at least the cashless part. I think it's definitely a movement that's going to happen. I've heard from even the Middle East that the governments are mandating a reduction of cash in the system, and the banks are trying to scramble to find solutions. Scan QR codes for payments, biometric payments. And of course, a huge uptick in the system that was already pushed, over the last couple of years is NFC payments, mobile payments, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, and Google Pay. So I think that is definitely here to stay, and it's going to be such a dramatic change that people are probably not going to go back to the other way.
Okay, interesting.
If I
Please.
may, I completely agree with Mike. And another small trend that we're seeing that I believe is a counterpart or a part of the general trend that Mike has described is we're also seeing an acceleration in with merchants, especially with merchants that have applications, or companies, ventures that have applications or websites that have sought to add contactless payments means to the systems or on the systems within the next whatever couple of years, and then wait for something to happen so they can join. We can see them now actually active on the subject in order to accelerate the take-up of contactless payment means. I completely agree with Mike that it's a matter of time until it will completely, take the world by storm. And I think that COVID-19 have actually accelerated the process.
Mihai, what are the stories from your part of the ecosystem?
Yeah, I really think that this crisis is accelerating digitalization of payments, digitalization of everything, actually. I'm just thinking of payments, and I completely agree that digital wallets will take off, because it's a normal. It is normal to pay. It is more convenient to pay with a digital wallet rather than a card, because it has two-factor authentication already in place, biometric and the card itself. Maybe we will see, and I think I saw somewhere a biometric card that will be provided in the market in the near future. I think Thales did this with fingerprint. What I'm looking for to understand from this crisis is where should we go? What should we do with the rest of the merchants that cannot deliver things? Because we have, and I'm not talking about restaurants and things like this. Not everybody can go through couriers to deliver their products. So I think that what we should do, what we should have when things will start to recover, because we are not going to be back to the normal that we know about, we knew about. I think that we as actors in payments industry, we should see how to help the merchants to be able to stay close to their customers, to their customers, their payers, because the payment will be less and less. We'll see that people will have less money because of the crisis, and it will be a matter of how you will loyalize your customer in order to be able to sustain your activity as a business. So what we are seeing here is that you have to ramp up your payment application in order to be able to loyalize your customers. So this is where are we investing time and resources in applications and processes of loyalty over payments. And this is something that could be used both of the merchant and the banks as well, of course.
I'm going to build a little bit on your last point about the fact that also the merchants and the banks could be doing certain things. I was wondering, what do you wish companies, be them startups or corporates, it doesn't matter, but what do you wish they did more in the payment space? In general, maybe also in the context of this crisis, what are some of the hidden opportunities that you see? And if the case, are you planning to, are they part of your roadmap in any way in planning to address them? Mihai, maybe you can start.
Yeah. We are looking into going to complement our product in adding mobile payment application on phones and devices and online business, of course. But more on that because we already saw this opportunity. We are planning on to building loyalty over payment, over card payment. And this is what we can do with an open platform that that can be put at work in order to know more about the payment behavior of the customers. Once a merchant or the bank knows more about the payment behavior, with what card he pays, what amount of money, what type of the card, and so on. You can build and know more about that customer, and you'll be able to address him with offers and opportunities more relatable to his own payment options.
So basically, you're bringing forth a set of data that the current industry either does have or actually doesn't know how to use or doesn't know how to organize.
Actually, the data exists, but giving the legacy systems that banks are using, it is very difficult for merchants to be, and for banks itself, it's very difficult for them to be able to understand the payment behavior. So we, based on the fact that we are connecting multiple players, multiple acquirers, multiple banks in our platform, we start to understand, to be able to understand the payment behavior, and to how to leverage this for merchants, to be able for them to go to put this information near the retail information that they already have about the product that they sell, and how to use this in order for them to sell not necessarily more, but more intelligent, but more relevant for their customers.
Okay.
So for example,
Mm-hmm.
I can make a marketing campaign for a bank at a certain merchant or a merchant chain, where when I see that they pay with a debit card and they pay a certain amount of money, I can write something on the POS or send a message to their phones in order for them to add a new credit card instead of paying large amount of money with debit cards. So that can be useful for banks. Just a simple example.
Yeah. Guy, maybe you want to add something?
Yeah. In my view, first of all, I completely agree with Mihai. Very interesting overview. In my view, if you look at the payment application, the end game was always to wrap the customer with as many services as possible, and actually to own the customer. You know, the phone is in the customer's pocket, and he sees those payment methods as some kind of a payment method. But the end game was always to add services and to wrap the customer with everything he needs, including stuff that is not really related to finance, in his pocket or in his wallet. Now, two things have happened, and I've seen in the last 3 months, and I think the path to opportunities have accelerated. One is that people are more and more accepting that e-wallets and payment and mobile payment methods are here to stay. They can use them, they can trust them. So that brings us to the second point, where people will actually be looking for more and more features, because they now trust it and they use it, and the COVID-19 situation has forced them to use it. Now, those are features like, you know, and Mihai has spoken about BI stuff, like you can, you know, highlight stuff to the customer, you can get him more involved with his activities, and actually extract some knowledge that you can present to him about his behavior, and also his behavior versus people like him. So that's one thing that will have to be added in. E-wallets always thought about it, but they thought that it would be added like 2 years time, 2 years from now, in 2 years time. But I think that has been accelerated. And also to add more and more features, like financial features, like loans, like microloans, like installment payments, etc., etc. Now, what we see in e-wallet is the difficulty to do that, because they have roadmaps. They are pretty slow. They don't understand always all the different verticals in the market and their needs. We see it all because we see all the merchants, all the cashier systems, many wallets, and in some places we see the opportunities in adding the features that they would have add them through our system, and actually shorten their time to market on the one hand, and on the other hand, be a player in the value chain on those specific features. Now, we're already onto it, and some parts we plan to do by ourselves, and some parts we're looking for third-party partners that can actually help us do that and actually shorten our time to market to offer those features. That's the opportunities I see in BI, in additional financial services, generally in additional services, because the person is already holding the application and he trusts it. That's my view.
Thank you. Mike, how about you? What do you wish companies did more in the payment space?
Yeah, so being with Paybyface and having a face recognition payment system, it's always kind of Horizon 2, and maybe we were Horizon 3 for the last 2 years, and now we've moved into Horizon 2 development. And maybe if this catches on and we can build the trust and credibility and get into some pilots with large retailers, we'll move into a Horizon 1. But coming from a Horizon 2 startup, which is very disruptive and very sort of unorthodox, this is a very big challenge for us. Big companies just want to keep the lights on, especially when the whole world is changing and they're sitting there draining blood cash flow because the whole economy has shut down. They're not thinking of innovation. They're not really thinking of taking on more risk. They're not really thinking of re-engineering their systems. They probably should, because this is the time where you need to invest in that, so that when you do come out of this, you can accelerate back to as much as possible, and you need innovation to do that, in my opinion. So what I wish companies would do is take a very innovative approach to solving the problem right now, and this is the time where they should probably try new things, because you're rock bottom. The only way is up. So, I think this is a moment of opportunity where companies can really come out way ahead if they try some new things, if they take some, I would call it considered, cautious risks, calculated risks on the innovation phase, so that they can be competitive on the other side. And stand out in the crowd. So with Paybyface and in our examples of sticking Paybyface, just like Guy was talking about, we're basically putting our e-wallet functionality as a B2B product in other platforms. For example, the Domino's Italy case, they don't care about the technology. They don't care that this is really cool face recognition payment. All they care about is to be different than Pizza Hut. They just want to promote the marketing aspect, and they just want to go to market and say, look what we're doing that Pizza Hut isn't. We're saving when we deliver the Pizza Hut, when we deliver the pizza to your door, we'll put the pizza on a nice folding chair, and we'll take your picture from 2 meters away to get tips. And that's all they want. That's all they care about. And it's all about the consumer right now. They got to save the consumers because people are scrambling. People are closing in. People are saving their money. And to stand out in the marketplace right now, to put the consumer first in whatever sense of the word, that is how you're going to win the market when you come out of this thing.
Thanks for that. I'm gonna pause a little bit to address the questions that already came in the stream. So for all of you are you required to implement identity protocol and KYC processes in your project?
We do.
Yeah, we do too at Paybyface. I mean, we have to know that it's a real person. Otherwise, there would be no point.
Yeah, we're basically dealing with our segment is more B2B. We do not actually know most of our of the end customers. We know the wallet or the merchant. For those, we need to do KYC or KYB, as we call it. But in some particular cases, we do need to address the KYC to customers. By the way, whenever there'll be time, Tudor, I'll be delighted to ask Mike a question.
Okay. The second question that came, do you implement blockchain components in your product strategy, within your technical products and strategy? Again, for all of you.
We don't.
No, we don't either.
No, we are being a technical service provider. We don't see yet the need for blockchain, but who knows?
Another question is one of the outcomes of the crisis is the disappearance of cash availability. What's that aspect impact on you, and how credit or loan interconnect with your systems? Guy, maybe?
Yeah, I think that the crisis actually encourages the use of the digital means. So we do not, we see an increase in digital means. I believe it comes from the account of credit card use and cash use. I don't have the data for that. I personally believe cash is gonna, take a third and fourth stage eventually. I don't believe it's gonna disappear completely, but maybe someone that will watch this video 30 years from now will say that I'm a fool and cash has disappeared. I think it's really gonna significantly decrease the usage, but not disappear. And the digital means will take up.
For us, we have seen doubling the numbers on mobile transaction for courier business, as we have a card on delivery product for couriers. Other than that, I don't think either that the cash will disappear. Maybe it will be transformed into anything else, but we are still having problems with unbankable people right now. So until we will have a proper technology for them to be able to bank themselves, to bank them, and to be able to digitize them, I think that cash will stay with us in a form or another. And I read somewhere that there are countries that they take all the amount of cash, they sanitize them with ultraviolets. They keep it in deposits for more than 2 weeks, and after that they release it back in the market. So I don't think that this is a problem now. And I have seen friends of mine in Romania, we have plastic bank notes that they washed them. They literally washed money.
Money laundering, the practical way. Yeah, exactly. Cosmin, maybe you can tell us in the second panel about your solution related to the blockchain question, because you're mentioning here you're building a distributed ledger technology based KYC process. So that would be interesting to find out in the second panel. And also a couple of questions, and then I think we're going to have to wrap up with some conclusions. First of all, do you think the current crisis will reshape in some way the payments industry? I think we've already addressed in some perspective this, but maybe if you want to add anything else. Okay. And can you name 3 killer features a payments app should have in the coming 2 or 3 years? For either of you.
Okay, how to name 3, I think. and it's hard to predict the future. You know, the only way to predict the future is to invent it. But I believe that it's going to be all about usability, because eventually the arguments and the wars and the fights between all players in the market will be all about service and usability. I think that prices will be the same, actions will be the same, payments will be the same, exactly like credit cards. Eventually, it will be all about UX, UI, and service. That's my view. I think any feature that complements those aspects is a winning feature.
From my side, you know, since I love to think way beyond tomorrow, when I develop things and envision engineering products, I think eventually, ideally, the device, whether it's a phone, a watch, cash, you know, credit card, whatever, should eventually go away. It's just an unnatural way to process a transaction using all these things that we've invented as humans. We're not using what makes us human. We're adding devices, all kinds of devices in between to facilitate this transaction between two people doing something for each other. And in my opinion, I think all these things are a waste of time, a waste of resources, a waste of plastic, a waste of energy, a waste of money. And we need to move into a natural form of transaction. And that's why we've picked the face. It's one of the most unique things on the body. Algorithms are getting more and more secure. You know, AI and machine learning will be able to identify things, 3D cameras and all these other things, but going into a natural biometric mechanism that identifies us as a unique human being to interact with another unique human being and exchange some services or products for some sort of monetary value, it doesn't require a device. It doesn't require something in the middle to prove that that transaction happened. It's going to become a virtual thing. That's what I think will be the killer app, when you can take away all these things that facilitate that transaction.
By the way, if I may say, I completely agree with Mike. I think it's just a matter of time. I think the humans have to go through this process of inventing devices because there's no clear solution. And once your technology or similar will take up, I think devices will be dropped. I completely agree with you. But it's a matter of, you know, it's a process.
Mihai, what's your take on this?
Nothing to add here. I think that Mike is right here. We need to go on a natural way of things, of exchanging things and services. But my take here is that we have to do this as a natural process, as a step-by-step process, the continuous improvement of what we have now and evolve to the future. Because now we have to do transaction as things are now.
Perfect, guys. So since it's already Mike, maybe you want to add something as well?
I don't want to delay the conversation, but I'm thinking, you know, let's say Elon Musk is successful in his rockets and we start putting, you know, moon bases and we have a Starbucks on the moon. I really don't expect me to take my iPhone in my pocket in the rocket, honestly, guys. I would like to just go in my spacesuit and pay along the way, bouncing from planet to planet without my iPhone or God knows what thing on my hand, or cash, carrying a freaking dollar bill with me to the moon. Like, that would be ridiculous. That would prove to us that we are not ready